Good morning, students. Take out your social book. Lesson number 3, Lesson 12. And the lesson's name is The Northern Mountains. The northern mountains, which include the Himalayas, stretch across the northern boundary of India. The Himalayas are the highest mountains in the world. They spread from Jammu and Kashmir in the west to Untitled Pradesh in the east. They form a natural boundary between India and China. Now, these northern mountains includes Himalayas, which stretch from Jammu and Kashmir to the Arunachal Pradesh in the east, and they also form a natural boundary between India and China. The Himalaya ranges passes through Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, and hill regions of Assam and West Bengal. Now, this Himalaya ranges passes through these states of our country, and they are Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, and hill regions of Assam and West Bengal. The Himalayas can be divided into three parallel regions with large valleys: the Great Himalayas or Himadri, the Lesser Himalayas or Himachal, and the Lower Himalayas or Shivalik. The mountains decreases in height from west to east. Now, the Himalayas can be divided into three parallel ranges with large valleys, and they are the Great Himalayas or Himadri, the Lesser Himalayas or Himachal, and the Lower Himalayas or Shivalik. The mountains decreases in height from west to east. The Great Himalayas, Himadri. The Himadri is the northernmost range. Its average height is over 6,000 meters above the sea level. It contains the highest peaks such as Mount Ketu, Kanchenjunga, and Annapurna. The mountains here are always covered with snow. The climate is very cold throughout the year. In some places, huge masses of ice called glaciers are found. These glaciers stood moving down the slopes to warmer regions. The snow melts and gives rise to many big rivers such as the Ganga, Yamuna, Satluj, Indus, and Brahmaputra. These rivers then flow down to the plains. Many of the tributaries also start from the Himadri. Now, I'll tell you the meaning of tributary. Look at here. A small stream or river which enters and increases the volume of the receiving river. Now here is the Great Himalayas or Himadri. This is the northernmost range, and its average height is over 6,000 meters above the sea level, and it also contains the highest peak such as Mount Ketu, Kanchenjunga, and Annapurna. The mountains here are always covered with snow. The climate is very much cold throughout the year. In some places, huge masses of ice called glaciers are also found, and these glaciers start moving down the slopes to warmer regions. The snow melts here and rises to many rivers such as Ganga, Yamuna, Satluj, Indus, and Brahmaputra. These rivers then flow down to the plain areas, and many of their tributaries also start from the Himadri. Now we'll go to the next point, that is the lesser Himalayas or Himachal. Now you can see this is the view of lesser Himalaya or Himachal. The Himachal range is found between the Himadri and the Shivalik. In this range, the mountains are not as high as the Himadri, though the winters see snowfall, the summers are cool and pleasant. It has some beautiful valleys such as the valleys of Kashmir, Kallu, and Kangra. Many beautiful hill stations such as Simla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Almora, and Darjeeling are located in this range. Because of the pleasant climate, people love to visit these hill stations in summers. Some mountain passes such as the Rohtang Pass of Arunachal Pradesh of Himachal are found in this range. This range has thick forest of pine, oak, deodar, and fine fir trees. Now here, valley. Valley means a low area between hills or mountains, typically with a river or stream flowing through it. Himalaya range is found between Himadri and Shivalik. In this range, the mountains are not so high as the Himadri. The winters see snowfall and the summers are cool and pleasant. It has some beautiful valleys such as Kashmir, Kullu, and Kalanga, and many beautiful hill stations are also found here, such as Simla, Mussoorie, Nainital, Almora, and Darjeeling. Because of its pleasant climate, tourists from different parts of India and the world come during the summer season. Some mountain passes, such as Rohtang Pass of Himachal, are found in this range. Here, thick forest of pine, oak, and deodar and fir trees are also found. The lower Himalayas or Shivalik. The Shivalik is the southernmost and the lowest range of the Himalayas. The area at the foothills of the Shivalik range is called the Tarai region. This area has thick forest and many varieties of wildlife. The climate is suitable for growing crops. The rainfall is heavy. Sal and sesame are the two main trees of the forest. Many fruit trees such as apples, pears, and apricots grow here well. Steps are cut out in the slopes of the hills of the farming. This is known as terrace farming. Now the Sevalik or Lower Himalayas is the southernmost and lowest range of the Himalayas. The area at the foothills of the Siarik range is also called or known as the Tri region, and this area has thick forest and many types of wildlife. And here the climate is very suitable for growing crops and the rainfall is heavy. Mainly two trees are found here, sal and sesame, and many fruits are also grown here in this region, and the fruits are apples, pears, and apricots. And the steps are also cut out in the slopes of hills for farming, and these steps is known as terrace farming. Most of the land is used for growing crops such as rice, maize, sugarcane, and potatoes. Cattle rearing is also very common. It is in these lower ranges of the Himalayas that people are able to live. Many broad valleys separate Savaliks from the Himachal. These valleys are called dunes. Dehradun in Uttarakhand is the best known among them. In the northeast, the hills are not very high. They include Garu, Khasi, Jantia, Naga, Lusai, and Mejo hills. These hills are covered with thick forest. Now, here in this region, most of the land is used for growing crops like rice, maize, sugarcane, etc. Cattle rearing is also done here. Many broad valleys separate the Sabliks from the Himachal, and these valleys are called dunes. Dehradun in Uttarakhand is the best known among the dunes. In northeast, the hills are not very high and they include Garo, Khasi, Jantia, Naga, Lusai, and Mizo hills. These hills are covered with thick forests. Now we'll go to the importance of the Himalayas. The Himalayas guard our borders like a strong fortress in North India. They prevent the cold winter winds of northern Asia from entering India. They also prevent rain-bearing winds from blowing out of India and thus help cause heavy rainfall in the country. The melting snow of the Himalayan glaciers provide water to the rivers originating from the Himalayas throughout the year. The Himalayan forests provide us with timber, medicinal herbs, resin, honey, and many other forest products. The Himalayas are homes for many animals such as snow leopard, tiger, rhinoceros, wild yak, and so on. The pastures of Himalayas are good places for rearing cattle. Now the Himalayas guards our country like a strong fortress in North India, and it also prevents the cold winds which comes from the northern Asia, and it also prevents rain-bearing winds blowing out of India, which helps to cause heavy rainfall in our country. And the melting snow of Himalayan gases provides water to the many rivers which originates from the Himalayas throughout the year. And the forest of Himalayas also provide us timber, medicinal herbs, resin, honey, and many other forest products also. And the Himalaya is the home for many animals such as snow leopard, tiger, rhinoceros, and so on. And the pasture of the Himalayas are good places for rearing our cattle animals. Life in the mountains. Most people in the hills are farmers. They grow crops like rice, wheat, sugarcane, and rear animals. Growing fruits, trees such as orchard and cultivations are also their main occupations. Many people depend on free forest produce for their livelihood. They also make delicate handicrafts. Jammu and Kashmir is famous for its beautiful carpets, pasima shawls, and paper mache. During the summer, people earn from tourism. Natural beauty of the hills attracts tourists from all over the world. Most of the people in this region or in these hills are farmers. and they grows many kinds of crops such as rice, wheat, sugarcane, and they also rear animals. Growing fruit trees and tea cultivation are also their many main occupations. And many of the people are depend upon forest produce for their livelihood, and they make handicrafts also. Jammu and Kashmir is very famous for its beautiful carpets, pasima shawls, and pepper michi. If you want to see the pepper michi, then look at here. These two people are making the pepper michi. Pepper michi means pepper michi craft is created by using pepper pulp, and the natural beauty of the hills attracts many tourists from all over the world. People in the hills wear woolen clothes throughout the year as the climate is cool in summer and very cold in winter. Kashmiris wear a long loose gown called firan. The people of Himachal Pradesh like to wear bright colored clothes. Embroidered capes are very popular among men. Women use a scarf on the head. Houses in this region have sloping roofs. This helps to drain the rainwater and snow off the rooftops. Life is hard in the hills, but the people are cheerful. In high mountain regions such as Himadri, it is difficult to travel from one range to another. People go through the passes. People wear woolen clothes throughout the year because the climate is cool in summer and very cold in winter. They wear a special type of cloth called firan, and the Himachali people like to wear bright color clothes, and they also wear embroidered caps. Women used to wear scarf on their head. Most of the houses here have sloping roofs because it helps to drain the rainwater and snow of the rooftops. Here, the life is hard, but the people are very cheerful. In the mountain areas, it is very difficult to go from one place to another. That is why people go through the passes. Now, students, I am going to give you the homework. And your first homework is into how many ranges Himalayas are divided. And second question is, who were the first two persons to climb Mount Everest? And write your homework in your homework copy, in test copy or test. And with this, I'm concluding my teaching.